So Anthropic just introduced a new feature in Cowork called Dispatch, which you can potentially call their version of OpenClaw or the actual Claude bot. This lets you connect to a persistent conversation with Claude running on your desktop through your phone. This means you have full access to all the system files, all the skills and plugins that are installed, and you can even control your browser through Claude for Chrome. Now, this is what makes Claude actually useful. When Claude Cowork was initially introduced, it was seen as a competitor to OpenClaw. However, the problem with Cowork is that you had to babysit the system and you had to be in front of the computer. Now, with this new feature, you can access your computer and Cowork from anywhere. You can touch the grass and still get the work done. Okay, so here's how it works. You have to enable this both on the desktop as well as on your phone app. And once you are connected, then you will be able to directly assign tasks to your computer through your phone. Now, I have seen some people who are having issues, so you'll need to update both your desktop app and the cell phone app or mobile app for this to work. And once you update it, if you are on the max plan, you are going to see the dispatch option in the menu. And then you can just assign tasks from your phone to your computer. Now, every company is trying to create a version of OpenClaw. This is Anthropic's version of the Claude bot. Jensen Huang recently called it OpenClaw is the operating system for personal AI. And during the keynote of GTC, they introduced NVIDIA NemoClaw, which is basically a wrapper around your OpenClaw. But according to Jensen Huang, every organization is going to need an OpenClaw strategy. Now, in practice, it means that every organization or person wants to have these long-running autonomous agents. Now, the biggest issue with OpenClaw was the security issues. Through NemoClaw, NVIDIA is introducing a way to enforce policy-based privacy and security guardrails, giving users control over how agents behave and handles data. Now, rather than relying on any third party, Anthropic is really going and creating every layer of this personal assistant by themselves. And I think this focus is really paying off, because if you look at every feature that they have released in the last few weeks, the goal is simple. They are trying to target knowledge work. I'll show you a few example use cases, but first let's talk about safety. Because you're giving your mobile AI agent full control of your desktop agent. It's as if you're able to access your computer literally on your phone app. And you can take almost any action that you'll be able to take on your computer. This means reading, moving, deleting files, interacting with different services, and controlling your browser. Now, everything is happening over Anthropic's network because they are enabling this tunnel to access, but your browser can still access phishing links or run malicious instructions if it encounters something on the web. So you need to be very careful. Now, some other limitations. So first, your desktop must be active because it is accessing a session on your desktop. And Claude only responds to the messages. It cannot proactively reach out to you. So this is different than something like OpenClaw, which can proactively reach out to you. Now, the only thing that I have noticed that it is going to proactively reach out to you is if it needs permission to execute a command. And that's a very normal behavior from Claude Cowork or Claude Code. And this is one continuous thread. So there is no way to start a new thread or manage multiple threads. All messages live in a single conversation. Now, this is something I think we will have to look at, because if the context window is reaching its limits, even if you are talking about a million tokens context window, it might start running into issues. We'll see like how good the memory system is. Second, it's a single thread, so you can't really have subtasks running, unfortunately. Next, you will need to keep checking your phone and see if the tasks are completed or not, because there are no notifications. Also, this does not work with the schedule tasks, which is a great feature within both the Cowork and Claude Desktop app where you can schedule tasks. But unfortunately, at the moment, it does not work with scheduled tasks. But hopefully, they're going to enable those scheduled tasks in the future. Now, today, it's enabled for Max plan only. Some people are complaining that they are not able to see it. Well, you will need to update both your desktop and your phone app. That's the only way it's going to show up. According to the announcement, they are going to enable it for pro users soon. We're going to see when that happens. Okay, so here's how the interface looks like. You can enable keep awake. That means it's not going to let your computer go to sleep, which is important because you need to keep the computer running for this to work. Second, you can enable all browser actions. It also shows you if there are any background tasks that are running. One immediate use case that I found myself was that I enabled this and then I was away from my computer, but I needed a bank letter that is on my desktop. Right? So I simply asked it, can you look at my desktop folder and see if there is a bank letter? And these messages in orange are coming from my Claude app running on my phone. And then it asked for my permission to check the download folders. It found multiple different versions of those. And then I said, okay, just send me one. It sent me a bank letter, which I was able to access on my phone, right? So apart from all the coding tasks that you can assign, this also gives you the ability to fully access your computer through the app if you need to retrieve something. Now, by default, it does not have access to any folder on your system. You will need to tell it which folder to access and give it permission, and then it will be able to take actions on your behalf. But again, be very careful what type of permissions you give the agent. Now, they're calling this Dispatch. I think a more appropriate name was probably ClaudeBot, as recommended or suggested by Ahmad, who was the previous CEO of Stability AI. Now, I think this meme really summarizes what is happening with all the Claude updates. Every day there is a new update. However, I would say that compared to some of the other labs, they are a lot more intentional with what exactly that they are releasing. And it seems like it's a part of a big strategy to create this multi-agent system that's going to be useful for knowledge work. Now, I personally think that if you are a Max or even a Pro subscriber of Claude, this is a great news. I do think that they are subsidizing the tokens at the moment. We'll see how this holds up. There might be a price increase because we are seeing price increases across the board. I'm not sure for how long Anthropic will be able to keep subsidizing their tokens on Claude Code and Claude Desktop. The way I say it is that you can disagree or dislike the company, but their products are definitely much better and much more organized compared to the competition. So let me know what you think. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.